Hola, buenos días.
Buenas tardes, buenas noches.
This is Barb.
And this is Estella.
And welcome to
Cafecito.
E-Crime. Oh, I changed it. Did you see?
Yeah, I heard.
E-Crime.
I saw and I heard.
Yeah, you saw it? Okay.
Yeah.
So, how are you doing today, sister?
I'm doing good. How are you doing today?
I'm full. We just had dinner.
Yeah.
It was good dinner, too.
Yeah.
I did like it. But today, I'm actually going to be bringing the case forward. I will be... ¿Cómo se le dice? ¿Cómo dices? I will be tribune. ¿Cómo se le dice?
What?
I will be... Ay, ¿cómo se llama? Cuando en la pinche movie que you volunteer for tribune. That's me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was like, what are you trying to say?
Half of the time, I don't know what the fuck I'm saying.
Yep.
So, pura pinches chingaderas, you know? But anyway, so this case, I don't know. You probably already heard it. I'm pretty sure you have.
Or heard about it.
Or heard about it, or heard the names or something. But anyway, we are going to Camas, así se llama. Camas, como quemas, así se escribe.
¿Con Q?
Utah. No, con K. K de kilo, no de queso. So, if you would like to come with us to Camas o Quemas, Utah, go ahead and grab your cafecitos.
And let's get started.
So, we're going to, like I said, Quemas, Utah, which to kind of give you a reference of where it's at. It's 22 minutes from Salt Lake City, and it's 44 minutes to Park City, Utah.
Okay.
So this place, fun, interesting, random fact is that it only has 2,500 people in population.
Okay.
So it's
on the smaller side.
On the smaller side. And it was originally settled by a group of Mormon pioneers in 1859. The town is named Camas, or it's Khmas, and it was derived by the word of perennial herb that is a native to the area. So It was actually a Native American word that what they used to, I guess, the herb, y se llamaba como así camas. So that's what they named the place. They also have a fiesta, kind of like festival as well. And they have like circus acts and that kind of thing. So they have one every year. So they're pretty famous for that as well. So here is where we're going to meet 39-year-old Eric and his wife of 9 years, Kouri Richins. So Kouri spells Kouri.
Okay.
So Eric was found on March 3rd, 2022, at the foot of the couple's bed in their room. Kouri did call 911 at about 3 a.m., stating that she had left the room to go see one of her sons that was crying and that he was having a night terror. And that when she left, her husband was in his bed and he was drinking a Moscow Mule.
Okay.
Ella le había hecho el drink porque they were celebrating that they had just closed on a pretty big house that was about $2 million.
A la verga.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Yeah. Happy for you.
Yeah.
So let's talk about who Eric is. So Eric was a part of the LDS church. So he was a Mormon. He was on missions all the time. He would travel a lot. And actually before he got married, he went to Mexico for 2 years and he learned Spanish. He's fluent in Spanish and he graduated from the Utah University and with a bachelor's in international studies and a minor in Spanish.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he also went to high school there and he went to Woodcross High School and he was pretty, actually, like everybody says, they're pretty amazing.
He was very well known.
Lo conocían around the church. Not only that, in the little city, because like they were like higher up in la iglesia. So like they were elders and they've been Mormon for generations and generations. He and his friend Cody Bright started a company called C&E Stone Masonry that would do stonework and like higher end homes. So ellos hacían like the front of the houses. Ya ves que ponen like natural stones and stuff.
Oh, so él comenzó esa compañía with his friend. Okay.
Actually, almost around the same time that he was in the university. So this is pretty cool because that's a pretty big leap for someone graduating and then all of a sudden just having
their own business.
Yeah. So I was actually not reading, pero estaba viendo algunas de las fotos de lo que hacían and it's really pretty. Like they do the backsplashes, todo eso, like granite and all kinds of stuff. So, and they also did like the driveways. Ya ves que había stone and stuff like that. And
they paved the driveways.
Sí. And a lot of the homes over there in Utah are beautiful. So yes. I'm pretty sure. So while he's at Home Depot one day, he's in line to pay some of the supplies that he was needing for his job.
Yeah.
So he's actually been going to the same Home Depot and talking to the same older lady named Linda King. And she noticed, there's an interview saying that she noticed that he kept looking over to the register that was next to her, which happens to be Kouri's register. So Kouri was a cashier at Home Depot.
Okay, so trabajaba allí la muchacha.
La muchacha, sí. So then it turns out that the elder, la señora le dice, well, go say hi to her or go get in her line. And she would say, like, she kept saying, oh my God, it was crazy.
So go, pero ella le daba ánimos.
Yeah, it would be like, go say hi. Mm-hmm. And he was really shy. So he was like, no, whatever.
Yeah.
And so then one time he actually did go through her line and they started talking and, they ended up going out. On June the 15th, 2014, the two got married. So they went to have 3 boys together. And you could tell that he was head over heels with his family. Like, he was into what you would call a boy dad. Like, he coached their teams. He would, take them everywhere.
He was very involved.
He was very involved. Not only that, he owned any equipment that you can think of that an outdoor activity could need. Like,
for the kids.
Like fishing and
camping.
Like the camping, all the gear, like las cuatrimotos and all of it. I mean, he literally owned everything because, he had the means to do it. His company was doing fairly well.
Yeah.
He was the best at. And
he sounds like it.
Not only that, I don't know if I mentioned this. I think I skipped it. Pero something that the lady, Miss Linda, did mention was that what kind of caught her eye about him was his laugh. Like the way he would laugh, it was infectious. Cuando se reía, everybody would turn and look because he would laugh loud. And so that's something that she said that she loved about him. And I guess she just felt like he had a good spirit.
¿Cómo se llamaba el muchacho?
El muchacho se llama Kouri Richins. So he was the best dad, and he would mention to his family, like he would tell his family, these kids are my life. My family is my life, and he would do anything for them.
He looks so nice.
He looks so nice.
Yes.
Yeah. So he was very hardworking, and he was making, like I said, a lot of money on his company. And most of the time, I feel like people that have good spirits, they're really hardworking. Y les va bien. Gracias.
Yeah.
Good for them. And he was becoming more and more successful. Not only that, but he would give back to the community. So he would often help in searching around the area. Si alguien se perdía en el mountain, él usaba sus cuatrimotos and what equipment he could.
I mean, he just sounds like he was an all-around good person.
He was a good person. He was just chill, and he just was always
family man.
Yeah.
Part of his community, loved his children, loved his wife.
Mm-hmm. And he, like I said, he was always smiling. So they said that a lot of his family would mention saying, hey, the party did not start until he walked in.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They just were pretty much in the outside, they looked like a perfect couple. Kouri was a stay-at-home mom with her kids, and she was.
They had 3 kids.
She had left Home Depot by this time, so she decided that she was going to start her own business, and she started Kouri Richins Realtor. She was a house flipper. So as we know what that is, which I'm obsessed with. Y'all know I'm obsessed with Joanna and Chip Gaines. But anyway, so she would buy homes. Obviously, we know. I mean, if you don't know, flipping a house is you would turn around and buy a home that's kind of needs a little bit of work. You would work on it and then turn around and make profit off of this home.
Let's take a quick break.
Persons of Interest is back, and it's bigger than ever.
That scream will echo in my head for many years.
Taser! He's going to shoot! Oi! Shot fired. Stay out! You got a gun on you!
He had the perfect aim.
I am absolutely stressed at that point. I have no idea where my officers are.
Persons of Interest available everywhere you get your podcasts.
It was reported that
and that kind of goes well. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's okay.
Pero like if he's doing all the stone work for the house and stuff like that, so it always kind of makes sense to kind of get into.
You would think, but I'm gonna explain to you. No,
so they're not gonna be the next Chip and Joanna.
they're not the next Chip and Joanna.
Okay.
No, Kouri would never be even close to the toenail of Joanna.
Yeah.
Reportedly, this is what.
And then we're not even far from Chip and Joanna. We've been there to Waco before. I don't know where we haven't gone again.
I don't know. I
Since
just,
you're recently new obsessed again.
No, I watched them last night. The house was so beautiful.
I'm telling you.
Oh my God, I can't. And every time I
You're
go
like,
in there,
I can't go to the grocery store because I need one.
no, and I still get shocked when they walk in. It's like the best thing ever. I'm like,
Imagínate if we go.
the ship lab.
Yeah.
Imagina que I go now again.
Yeah.
So reportedly, the couple were actually celebrating the fact that she had bought a home that she was going to flip.
Wait, did she have any experience in this at all that you know of?
No,
So this
that I
was
know
like
of, no.
her first go at it. I'm assuming she took the test to become a realtor and all.
Excuse me, I'm assuming that she
And
did.
I'm sure she got a lot of help from Eric también. He was in
I'm
the
sure
business.
that
Yeah,
I mean, he
knew
was,
people.
Yeah,
he
knew
had to have.
people.
I'm sure he worked with people. So
They were supposed to be celebrating that they had closed on this big property.
No, but you were gonna say that she bought her own home and she was gonna flip it.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Okay,
That's what they were celebrating. But this home wasn't just any home. It was a home that was in Midway, Utah, and it was just a huge step for Kouri because this was like a big home. And we'll talk about the home in a little bit.
But this is not the home that you were talking about at the beginning of the story. That was $2 million.
Yes, this is the same home.
And she's gonna flip this?
That's what she wants. Yeah.
Oh damn, she went big.
Well, yeah, and so that's what I'm saying. This was a big step for her.
This was but it's I would assume, I don't know why I thought that you meant that they bought a $2 million house together and
No. And
like to buy a $2 million home as your first home to flip.
Well, it wasn't her first home. She had already flipped a few homes.
Okay.
This was the biggest one.
Okay.
She, according to her, had mixed this drink, the Moscow Mule, for her husband. And she said that she gave him the drink in bed. So, le dijo, te lo tomas y te acuestas.
I'm going to go check on the kids.
Yeah, I'm going to go. So, she said that they were getting ready for bed, like I mentioned before, and that she had to leave, like I said again, because her son was having a bad terror. So, she said that when she left her husband alive, and then she went to go take care of her son and not too far from another room. So then she said she fell asleep, como que se quedó dormida.
Con el niño.
Con el niño. And then she said que she got up around 3 a.m. and she got back to her own bed. When she tried to snuggle up to her husband is when she noticed that he was cold and unresponsive. So that's when they found Eric on the foot of the bed and they tried to revive him, but there was no luck.
Como on the foot of the bed? If she was trying to...
Exactly.
Okay. Just making... Okay.
So no luck. He was pronounced dead at the scene, unfortunately. In one of the, I don't know if it was in one of the articles that I read or something that I heard, they did say that she mentions in the actual phone call that she tried to give him mouth to mouth. But when the actual rescuers or the first responders got there, they were like, there's no way because he had blood inside his mouth. So there was no way.
So she didn't even try.
That she tried. But she said in the call, I tried and whatever. So I don't know if maybe that's what she meant by pulling him y lo puso en el piso. Because if you know...
Maybe she was going to begin
if
to
you know
try.
CPR, then you know you have to be on a flat surface. So I'm guessing she was going to try.
And move him, pero a lo mejor se le hizo. Okay, we'll get there. Pero
we don't know yet, but the thing is, they're saying there's no way that she did it because there was a lot of blood pooled in his mouth.
And then if she would have tried...
She would have turned him sideways and para que se le saliera la
But then she would have, I'm pretty sure...
She would have gotten blood
on her,
yeah.
right? También. And I'm assuming que ella no tenía sangre on her.
No.
Okay.
No. So the investigators did not suspect of anyone, but after they did an autopsy, they got the results that Eric had 5 times the legal dose of fentanyl in his system. Which, as we know, I'm not sure if you don't, but it is a pain medication that, just to give you context of how strong it is, it's about 50 times stronger than heroin. 50. And it's extremely addictive.
I know, and I know we hear about this. I feel like recently, of course, a lot of people do pass away from, or they buy something that was laced with fentanyl and they, tragically pass away and they had no idea, you know, so. Yeah.
So this medication, like based on what I was reading.
Medication?
It's a medication?
Oh, I know that.
And you use it for pain.
I mean, they do give it to you.
They
prescribed.
Do. Yeah, you can. It's very small amounts.
Low dosage.
Very low. And this, think about it. It's 50 times stronger than heroin. That's strong.
Bitch. That's way more than strong.
That's not even a horse tranquilizer. That's like a dinosaur's tranquilizer, like fucking shit, like straight up. Like
T-Rex and
shit, straight up. So when the investigators asked Kouri to retell what she had done the night before, she told the investigators that she had left her phone charging in the room. But the phone shows that it had been moving around the house. And not only that, but it had been unlocked and locked back up. And she was texting.
Which differs from what she said.
From what she said originally.
Porque, a weird question, I don't know if you know this, pero ¿cómo ellos supieron que the phone was moving around?
Because they were tracking like the like even on the phone you can track like in the ¿cómo se llama this only happened last year.
Let's hear, pero
so ¿cómo se le llama when you put the tracker on your phone?
Find my phone?
phone?
Yeah, but I don't think it tracks you in your house. I think if you
it does.
Really?
Yeah, I can see when my husband was moving in the hotel room, or if he was on his way to the hotel or wherever he was at. You can see it moving. I can see your ass moving too.
Huh?
Yeah.
Interesting. Let me go look at it.
Yeah, I'm being serious.
I did not know. I just for whatever reason.
And I mean, come on, we're talking about the cops here. I mean,
I know, but I just never knew that it tracks you, and you can see you. Let's say you move from one end of your room to the other, or you go from the restroom to downstairs. I don't know. I didn't think it was that detailed.
No, it is. It is.
Okay. I didn't know that.
I've seen it to where,
or maybe I've never looked that close. Let me look at it right now. No, just kidding.
So then, she tells him that, hey, my phone was charging, yo ahí lo dejé, but
hasta las 3 de la mañana.
Hasta las 3 de la mañana when I went back into my room to snuggle up with my husband,
with her husband, right?
And then he was cold to the touch, is what she said. Not only that, but like I said, she was texting someone. So they got a warrant for her phone so that they can go over it. And guess what? Kouri had erased all of her text messages from the whole year. Okay. So kind of suspicious, right? As we know, you can't just erase shit. Nowadays, shit doesn't get just erased.
And then, excuse me. And then something that you just recently erased the day before. A lo mejor if you erase something, y pasan meses and then they can't retrieve it. But if it's just been a couple of days, lady, and they can retrieve them.
Yeah. And so then she tried to erase it. Like I said, they did get the number of someone that was kind of like more constant, that she kept texting and around the same time, and especially in the middle of the night. So it was a phone number that belonged to someone that they call CL.
So it was more than just her trying to contact or text this number that night. It was from previous.
Okay. I'm going to tell you how long ago.
Okay.
CL, which is what the investigators, I guess, named her or called him. I don't know. I'm going to say her, or because I don't know what it is. Yeah, I don't know. So CL is when they looked them up. That was me looking them up. Mm-hmm. And they called the person, and apparently the person, CL, had a police record of possession of a controlled substance and intent to distribute.
Okay.
So, meaning drug dealer, right? So Summit County, which is the county that they lived around, actually was able to bring CL in and say, hey, let's talk to you. So CL was contacted, according to her, or him, whatever, by Kouri, asking for some pain medications that was for a contractor that was having some back issues. And this was between January and February. So it wasn't just once. She did it more than one time. And it was between January and February, because she was like, hey, I kind of need these pills, blah, blah, blah. So they were going back and forth.
For a contractor?
For a contractor.
That's what she said.
That's what she said.
Okay.
So on February 12th, she reached out and told her, hey, I need, straight up just asks her, I need some medication. I need some pills for this person because they're not feeling well. They're in town. They need the pills. They have backache. What happened? CO le dio hydrocodone pills. So hydrocodone is also a pain medication. And they were hand delivered to Kouri and was like, here you go.
By CL.
By CL. 2 days later, on Valentine's Day, she made her husband a nice sandwich.
Shaped like a heart.
Ten mi amor.
Ajá,
una sandwich y le dio una torta, no te creas, pero
una gordita,
una tortita, y le dijo, and a love note, and put it in his truck in the morning before he went to work.
For Valentine's Day.
Okay. So when Eric started to eat the sandwich, he almost immediately started to feel sick. He broke out into hives, and he was even having some trouble breathing. Mm-hmm. So then he even had to use his son's EpiPen, which he happened to have in his truck. And if he didn't, he would have been dead. Like his throat started closing up and all of this stuff. And so Eric...
That's imagine the luck. That you just happen to have it.
The epi.
Yeah. It was. Yeah.
So then Eric stated that he took some Benadryl, y se durmió, and then he was better. But when he did wake up, after all of that, commotion and everything, he told one of his friends, hey, I think my wife is trying to poison me. End quote.
How did they find all this out?
I guess they're asking people around him. I know his family he was a big family guy, so his family was very involved with him, and he would talk to them a lot.
Yeah.
So I'll explain that in a little bit too. So now his family, once again, said that this wasn't the first time that Kouri had done that. So
had mentioned that
that Kouri had tried to hurt her husband.
What?
According to the family, they were contacted by Eric, and they said that they were told by Eric himself that they were on their trip to Greece y que Kouri again made him a drink y que se empezó a sentir bien mal. And so he told his family, hey, if something happens to me, you need to look into Kouri because I think she's trying to kill me.
Oh my God.
End quote. The sandwich incident did not work, obviously, and obviously the Greece incident didn't either. So she went back to Seal. Y le dijo a Seal, you know what? The pills didn't work. They weren't strong enough for my contractor. So I need something stronger.
What's stronger than fucking hydrocodone?
Well, apparently fentanyl, right?
Yeah.
So le dijo, this is what she says, and I quote. So she's reported asking for some of that Michael Jackson stuff.
Wow.
Mind you, Michael Jackson did not die of a fentanyl overdose, but whatever.
Well, why would she say that?
And then she asked for the fentanyl by name.
I need some.
No, that's pendeja.
Have a neck injury.
Okay, so cut this because we need to tell you about this. So this girl.
Side story.
Yo no sé qué verga se hizo.
I don't know. I don't know what happened.
So
it's on my right side. It's not even like. What is this? It's not even my shoulder blade area.
Yeah. And so this hoe over here busts out telling me yesterday, we went to the Dia de los Muertos festival thing.
Yeah.
And so then we're out there and she's turning like, I don't even know, como pinche Frankenstein.
I have like this kink on my right side, and we have to turn your whole body. I just can't turn my neck. Well, not fully.
And then
I couldn't go full exorcist, just like sort of a little bit exorcist, but like I'm over here.
And she's like, I have a neck injury. I'm like, estúpida, nobody cares about you. She wanted a fucking disabled placard and shit. I'm like, no, dude, you don't.
I'm not driving, so it's fine.
I'm not driving because my arm, I'm disabled. And then my daughter and I were just like cracking up because she can't even, she's like, maybe we should park over there all stiff. I was like, maybe you should stop looking ridiculous. So,
yeah.
But anyway, back to the story. But I hope you feel better.
Thank you.
So
I will tonight.
Yeah, you do not need fentanyl. So, like I said, she reported asking for
You're like, bitch, you just need some Advil.
Yeah, just take some Advil. Take some ibuprofen. So she reported asking for some of that Michael Jackson stuff.
Wow.
And then it was funny because I was this story was actually covered by the Queen about queens of true crime. What is her name? Not Bailey.
Apparently not Queen.
Apparently not, bitch.
Because you can't remember her name.
Stephanie Harlow.
Yeah.
And so then it was funny because when she says this, she says, it just sounds better when you say Michael Jackson shit, not Michael Jackson stuff. So she's like, I'm thinking that if you're talking to a drug dealer, you're going to say Michael Jackson shit.
Yeah.
But she reportedly said stuff. So I don't know, but
it just came to you.
It just came to me. Anyway, so then she actually asked for fentanyl by name. Like she tells CO, hey, bruh, I want fentanyl. ¿Verdad?
I'm over here thinking, how did she come in contact with somebody like CL?
I don't know. I really don't. But
también we never really know anything about her, what her background was or anything like that.
We don't know anything.
That,
like there's not much about her besides the fact that she worked at Home Depot. Like that's about it.
Se conoció
Yeah. So CL did reach out to another dealer in a near town, and they say that she was able to, or she said that she was able to get her 15 to 30 fentanyl pills.
Okay.
And CL then hand delivered them again to Kouri, and she paid $900 for them.
I don't know anything about drugs, but that sounds like a little bit. Is that a little bit for fentanyl?
I don't know. I don't know anything about drugs either. Not long after that is when her husband ended up dead, right? So the medical examiner, like I said, had said that the large amount of fentanyl had to have been ingested orally. Because fentanyl, you can also give as in intravenous or in your veins, como un shot. Pero this one, it had to have been ingested orally, and that it wasn't medical grade. It was like drugs,
Streets.
like it was street grade, like it wasn't like something that you can see from a pharmacy or something.
Well,
No.
yeah, because they wouldn't give you those type of dosages like that.
Exactly. So she said, the medical examiner said, no, there's no way that you could have just gone to the store and gotten all this medication, like to a doctor or something.
And they would have prescribed it for you.
Exactly. Now, it could have been that, I mean, they're like saying, well, maybe Eric wanted to take his own life. You know, a lot of people start saying, you know, he wanted to take them. And then I think at one point she even says there's a lot of pills in the house or something like that. Whenever she's talking to the investigators, they never find shit. So, you know,
And she
whatever.
just wanted to cover her ass.
Of course. But why would he tell his wife if he wants to kill himself to get the pills for him? If he doesn't want nobody to know.
Yeah.
I mean, si yo me voy a matar, yo no lo voy a decir a nadie.
You're just going to
do it, right?
And leave a letter.
Also, because when reviewing the phone records for Kouri, she had been, you know, especially because she had been talking about this particular medication with CL, especially if she named it like, you know. So here's something else that's kind of strange that Kouri started doing. On March the 5th, the very next day that her husband had just been found dead in their room, the girl had a party.
Oh, ¿en la casa de ellos?
En la casa de ellos. She had a party.
The next day?
The next day, March the 5th.
¿Y los niños?
I can't tell you. Now,
You're like, I wasn't there. Sorry, I didn't get an invite.
But the only thing is that, you know, don't think that it was a party like to celebrate that Eric was dead.
Oh, they were grieving.
No, they weren't grieving. No, it was a party because they were celebrating that she had closed on the house in Midway.
What kind? Are we talking about like
The same $2 million house.
Sí, pero you know how they say, oh, it's not a party. It's just like a couple of friends getting together.
No, she had a full-on party. Yeah.
Like from a frat house?
Yeah, like she had like drinks and all the kind of
Loud
stuff.
music.
Yeah, loud music and everything. And apparently, you know, she was celebrating that she was closing on the house on Midway,
your
or that she
husband-
had just closed. But think about it. Weren't you celebrating that last night with him?
That's not even that. Your husband hasn't even been dead for 24 hours.
Nope.
And I don't care if you had already planned this before he passed away. No. And then who the fuck even comes to this party?
Yeah.
I would not even show up.
I don't know, but somebody showed up. There's people there. So now, like I mentioned before, this house on Midway, once again, I think it was one of the, like, it was a big deal to her. Because
Right.
she was, I mean, for you to have a whole ass party again, like, I don't know.
No, this is not right.
So how is it possible, you might ask, that she was just celebrating the closing of her house, even though you were just celebrating the closing the day before? So when did you actually close on the house, right? So did you close on the house the day before, or did you close on the house the day after that your husband was dead? So agárrense los calzones, porque ahorita se va a poner aquí el pedo al 100, ¿verdad? While at the party, Eric's sister Katie came over. So Katie is like, bitch, what the fuck?
Okay, she wasn't going to party.
No.
She was like,
she
what the
was
fuck?
like, what the fuck? And girl, they threw hands. Yes. Apparently, allegedly, Kouri said, get out of my house. And Katie said, girl, you get out of my house because Eric took you off of his will. Yes. Yup. So la otra got so mad and she lunged at her.
Pero Katie was like, I'll fight back.
Katie was like, you know what? I don't know. I don't want to deal with you. Whatever. Okay. Kouri did not believe that it was true que la habían sacado del will, right? Because she's over here thinking, man, un pinche dineral, ya se murió el hombre, right? So la Kouri, she hired a locksmith y le dijo que le abriera la little safe in la casa because, you know, she needed to make sure because she knew that's where the will was kept. Well, they did find $100,000 cash in there.
Okay.
Must be nice. And they also found the will. ¿Y qué crees?
She wasn't
She
on it.
was not on the will. She had been cut off out the will.
But is that a copy of the will? Because I know usually your executor of your estate usually has the will.
They have a copy of it.
Okay.
You get a copy, I guess. I don't know how that works. I don't have a will, so I don't know. So then that's when she found out and she spiraled. Yes. The same day, I guess around the same time, Katie came back to the house pues para sacarla de la casa. Te me vas de aquí, right?
And was Katie, whose name was it?
Katie's.
Okay.
Yeah. So Katie is like, hey,
Get out
she
of my
already
house.
knew. Katie is like, hey, you know you're not supposed to be here. Get the hell
Yeah,
out.
you found out you're not supposed to be
le dijo,
here.
Stop touching the things. They're not yours. And then all of a sudden, she punches her in the throat and in the face.
Who punches who?
Kouri punches Katie in the throat and in the face.
Wow.
Yep. I mean,
Because she was so upset.
she was upset, you know, because
Y ella-
no
y
le
sa-
salió como ella quería.
Yeah, y sabía que no podía hacer nada, that that wasn't going to be her house.
Okay, let's talk a little bit more about how Kouri would have or might have been doing sketchy shit that could probably make you feel like, even though if all of this didn't make any more sense, but more shit than could have, you know, because there's more. Oh yeah, she did a lot. So
Before he passed?
before he passed, yes. So between 2015 and 2017, Miss Kouri here purchased 4 life insurances totaling at least $2 million.
Each one?
Each one. No, totaling in total.
Oh, okay.
At least $2 million on Eric. Mind you, Eric had no idea.
I was about to say, did Eric know?
No. In October of 2022, Eric met with a divorce attorney and estate planning attorney, and he made changes without telling his wife. So this is around the time in 2020 is when he started already kind of noticing shit.
Yeah.
He had already learned that Kouri had taken at least $100,000 out of his bank account and had racked up at least $30,000 on his credit card bills.
Damn.
Not only that, she had borrowed at least $200,000 on the equity of their home. Yes, she had done this by forging his signature. She forged his signature to make herself the power of attorney to be able to get the loan.
Yeah.
The girl had stolen $150,000 from the company money too, girl.
The company de su husband.
De su husband con su friend.
Yeah.
So she also took that, which Eric had saved that money because he was using it to pay his taxes at the end of the year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, everything was gone.
But I'm thinking, do we know why?
Unfortunately, no. I don't know where that money went, to be honest.
No, but I'm thinking, I'm like, okay, obviously we don't know I mean, I don't know if you're going to tell us, but we don't know their dynamics in the home, like how they live their life to life. Pero it sounds like él le daba todo a ella lo que ella quería.
Yeah.
So it was just never enough?
It was never enough.
Was she with somebody else that you know of?
No, she wasn't well, let's get there.
Okay, so let's say, why would she hate him? I get it if you don't
I
want to
don't
be.
think she hated him because...
Pero quería su dinero.
Quería su dinero, and not only that, but I did read something like he had come out and I think he had been married before.
Okay.
And, you know, whenever he was trying to find a partner, like his next partner, he rushed into it with Kouri. And
because
then
he really
had those
liked
children. Her? And then the children, it was it. Like, he's like, he was trying to make a family. And he was known to that he has said before, he didn't want his kids not to have a mom and a dad together.
Yeah.
I mean,
if he could avoid them separating, he was.
So let me explain a little bit. So the business partner had also opened life insurance policies on each other. Apparently that's based on what I heard. It's common to make sure that in case one of the business partners se muere, algo les pase, they can go ahead and pay out the business partner, right? And they, help out or whatever it is. And in January 2022, Eric found out that Kouri had logged on to the actual account where they had the beneficiary and stuff, and she put her name instead of the business partner. And how did he find out? Well, he got a notification
from the company?
From the company saying, "Hey, there's being changes made in your thing."
To your policy.
That's how, I mean, she really just wanted, I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Go.
So around the same time, she also opened another life insurance policy on Eric's name. And the girl, at this point, had 6, girl. It went from 4 to 6. I don't know. He knew. He was aware of what she was doing.
She wasn't being slick.
She wasn't being...
Was she even trying to play it off?
I don't know. But, he was trying to make the changes for her not to keep all of that
Was he trying to make changes to all the shit that she was doing without her knowing?
No. He was trying to be avoiding it. Yeah, trying to kind of avoid, because she said that she was going to pay him back todo el money. I guess with her little business.
That's why that house was such a big deal.
Yeah. So the money was gonna be now handled by Katie. That's what he did with the will, and he took off Kouri, and he was going to put it in a trust for his children. So for Katie, you know how, I don't know if it's called a in life trust or something like that. And it's you make sure that this person that you say, it's like me saying, okay, Stella, you're going to take this money for my kids, but when they turn this year
21 or whatever,
21, you give it to them, right? Or they can't buy drugs. Like they need something, you know, and that's what Katie was going to do, kind of manage it, I guess. My question out of all of this is that Eric knew his wife was trying to kill him, so why didn't he just leave her, right? Well, it seemed like he had been, I guess he was trying to make changes. I mean, eventually,
or maybe he believed her that...
I don't know. That he was going to get paid? I don't think so. Maybe he was just truly a good guy.
Maybe he wanted to believe... I don't know if this sounds bad for me to say, but maybe he's like, oh, maybe she's trying to kill me, but it hasn't worked. Maybe she's going to stop.
I don't know because he kept drinking the drinks and eating the sandwiches.
And it sounded
I would be like, bruh,
anything.
You drink it.
Yeah, you drink it
but,
first.
You know, I think that it also had to do with the fact that he's Mormon overall and he's part of the LDS community. And I think that it's not, you know, divorce wasn't acceptable.
But he already was divorced once.
Yeah, but it cost his life. Like, I don't know. Anyway, the family states that he stayed for his kids. You know, that's what they kept telling him. So Kouri apparently she owed a lot of people money.
I bet she owed a lot of people money.
It was an estimated $2 million. And the day before that Eric died, it seemed like she had spent a lot of time like making phone calls the day before. So she was on the line for a while with the IRS and she owed them money. And then she also owed...
Oh, girl, and she owed the IRS money, girl. That's it.
That's it. You don't fuck with the IRS.
If you can owe anybody else money, but you could not, the IRS will take their money.
And then also, she owed a lender... another lender, and then she owed the money to Eric. Like she owed everybody money. Okay, we're gonna go back to the Midway house because we want to know what is this big house
deal?
Big
What's
deal,
such a
right?
big deal about?
So the price tag, like I said, she was gonna pay was $2 million. According to Eric's family, Eric was not okay that she was buying this house. He thought it wasn't a good investment, property, and that he was going to tell her that night that he died that he was not okay with buying it, and she needed his signature.
That's what I was about to ask
because. If he didn't sign for it, she didn't have
anything to back.
Yeah. So, but he believed it was not a good idea, and I don't know if what I think is maybe she took his signature before, or maybe she forged it and then killed him. I don't know. It was listen to the size of this fucking house, okay? So it's a 22,000 square foot home sitting in 10 acres, okay? Now, the home is just bones, no hay nada. It just has been started, but never finished. The original person that started the project, they didn't finish it and they moved to Guatemala. So then another company bought the property, but then there was an unexpected death that happened in the property premises. So the house se quedó sin nadie until 2019.
Okay.
So in 2019, a young couple were going to move to the area, so they decided to buy the house. In 2022, the husband died when they were going to close.
This property seems cursed.
Exactly. Girl. And so then the young widow used a company to sell the house, and it was Kouri Richins Realty. So that's how
she ended up with the property.
Ended up, finding out. Yeah. So the house was actually listed for $5 million.
So she got to steal?
She got to steal. And she might have...
I'm trying to think how this...
They actually, if you go on there, you can see it. I know a lot of and then it had, I think, eight bedrooms. It had a separate house that 36, I think it was like 3,600 square foot of a quarters for like the maid or something like that.
Bitch, that's a full ass house now.
Yeah, and it had like...
So al último sí la terminaron esta casa, or it was still just kind of like like you say, the bones, like the structure.
It literally just had a literal just foundation and just like
the structure.
No había nada, nunca la acabaron, nothing. But, it shows you a video when you go on there and it shows you kind of what the house could look like.
Right.
And, this thing is not like, it was
on
like
10 acres.
Yes. Not only that, but it had like a conference room. It had like a rock climbing. No, not even a mansion. It's like a compound, bro. Like this place was huge. Right. So I don't know if maybe she thought that, but how are you going to
finish it?
I don't know. So according to what the family of Eric said, he was like, this is a bad investment. I'm not going to put my name onto that because he knew that it was not going to be a good idea.
And he's an expert, or he would know more about the business.
So yeah. So wait, let me tell you. Esto no se acaba aquí, señores. It gets even worse. Hold on to your cachuchas, ladies and gentlemen. On March 7th, 2023, almost a year after Eric's death, la Kouri, pues, ¿qué crees que hizo? She published a children's book. She published a children's book called Are You With Me? Okay. The woman wrote, and I quote.
Wait, so like all this time, was she under investigation? But
She was under investigation.
But they couldn't pin it on her yet or anything?
No.
Oh, they were just trying to gather. Okay.
So at this time, she writes this book, right? And what's the book about? Let me tell you. Are You With Me is written, and I quote, excuse me, Are You With Me is written to create peace and comfort for children who have lost a loved one. It's a reassurance to children that although your loved one is not present, their presence always exists. And they walk through life with you as if they were here with you at all times.
Okay. Okay. That sounds like, okay. You know, like, okay.
So
like pasa, you know?
Okay.
Like,
yeah. But
I know where you're getting to, but
okay.
Like if I didn't know and you just told me there's this book about this for children, I'd be like, oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah. But here's the deal. She was on TV.
Uh-huh.
And she went on there and she did an interview.
Was it Good Morning America?
No, it was Good Morning Utah.
Oh, okay.
And she was telling them that she was shocked. Like her husband's death was shocking to her and her children.
And that's what inspired her to write this
it
book.
inspired her because there was no resources out there. No resources for children that lost their parents. Okay. So
maybe she's right. I don't know about that. So.
And so her and her children wrote this book together to help other children.
Okay.
Yeah. Uh-huh. The actual book was on Amazon and they were selling the book for a little bit. Mm-hmm. She said that it was inspired by her husband, but if you look at the book, like the illustrations, you can look it up after we finish and it's her husband. Like you're literally talking about your husband on this book and you're putting your children in this book too. And I don't know. I don't know how to think about this. I know what you're saying. It's like, okay, I get what she did. It was for her children, but
no, I'm not saying that.
But like,
that's not what I said. I said, if I didn't know any of this and you just told me, oh, there's a children's book and you read me the synopsis or whatever it is, you read me, oh, I'm like, oh, okay, this sounds like, okay. You know?
Yeah. So on April the 6th is when she went into Good Day Utah, and she promoted the book. And like I said, it was so unexpected, right? And it took them all by shock. It was just kind of weird because they have the interview on the internet, and she's very calm, and she's just kind of like, and my eye, she's not wearing her wedding ring or anything, you know, whatever. So 1 month after this, on May the 8th, is when she was arrested for the murder of her husband, right? The show actually freaked out because they're like, holy shit, you know? So they made a statement and they said that actually Kouri was the one that contacted them to get interviewed because she wanted to actually promote the sequel of the book. So she was making a parte número dos.
Yeah.
And before that's when she was arrested. She's been in jail right now for, I think that not too long ago, I think like in the summer, they had one of the hearings for her and she was denied bail. It's because it seems like she bought fentanyl again after her husband was dead. So they're like, okay, well, what do you need fentanyl for? Right. So they're saying that she was a danger the judge just stated that she was a danger for the community and she should not be out on the streets and stuff. She was actually sued by the Richins family for $13.6 million for everything that she owed them and all of that.
Everything that she ended up owing Eric.
And obviously it's an ongoing case. And right now, actually, like I said, I think in July or in June of this year, that's when they had their last hearing and she's in jail.
I'm assuming the boys están con la familia?
They're with his family, yeah, for sure. And this Katie actually came out and she spoke, and she was just talking about how every day the boys, all three of them, have like anxiety and they're just so scared that they don't know. They get I guess like they have a hard time.
Do you know? I mean, yeah, I'm sure, but like, do you know? Is she a good mom? Like, or
I don't know. To be honest, there was not any information about like I said about her. Most of the information that I found was about Eric. And
I just wondered if, you know, because you hear about, you know, like cuando las mujeres tienen niños, but they don't want the kids and they just go out and party and the kids are home with the dad or something like that, or vice versa, you know. So I wonder. No, because I feel like if it was that, we would have known.
But you know what? I feel like she might have also used those kids to make sure that she was
O para que él no la
with
dejara.
Eric.
Yeah.
Because she knew Eric wasn't going to leave her because he loved his children. And, you know, she knew that he was Mormon, and she knew that,
So we don't know if she killed him, right? She hasn't gone to trial.
Allegedly,
so we don't know.
We don't know, but based on the information that I found,
It's kind of
leaning towards maybe she did, but there's
don't know yet.
There's no like
She hasn't been
actual.
convicted.
No, she has not been convicted quite yet. It's an ongoing case, and as soon as we find out, I guess I can definitely do a
I
follow up.
wonder what if she did. I'm not saying that she did, you know, allegedly. Like, what would drive her to it? Like, what's the motive?
But based on what I was reading, I think she really did think that well, I mean, because she had been doing it for so long. It wasn't like something that she just started, but I feel like she wanted to make, like, he was so successful. She wanted to be successful too. So she wanted to make this company of hers work. And maybe that's why she thought that was like the house that she was going to flip and make all these millions and maybe pay back what she owed, I guess.
But do you think that was the main motive? I don't know why that she just needed his money to pay off everybody else.
Maybe, I don't know.
And she figured that the only way that she was going to get it was for him to go, because I don't think he was just going to write off all her.
No, he wasn't.
deudas.
And not only that, but like, obviously he took the time to go and make sure that she was not on his will.
So he from the Valentine's Day sandwich, and then when they were in Greece. But I just wonder, I mean, from what we know, I don't know if anything else is going to come out later. You know, obviously it's still an ongoing case. Maybe there's more evidence that they still haven't released. Maybe she was seeing somebody else.
According to I saw a court TV thing, and according to that one, they did speak to the lawyer of the family, and the lawyer of the family said that his family, Eric's family, the Richins, they got a private investigator, and that it looked like she had been seeing someone this whole time. But the thing is, they haven't shared that with anybody yet, so we don't know. But it might be a possibility that there was someone there, but we don't know.
I'm like, how can you hate this? I'm not saying that she hated him, but
I don't think she hated him, to be honest. I think she just was like,
she wanted him out the way
because she wanted. To be honest, I feel like maybe she felt like she was in competition with him, and she wanted, or maybe not competition, but maybe like she wanted to be successful too on her own, but she didn't want to be like in this marriage and be successful together, because the way I see it is like, hey, he's being successful, I'm successful. But maybe she didn't see it that way. Mm-hmm. I don't know what her background was. I don't know where she came from. I don't even know if she was Mormon.
I think people need to realize you can just divorce. It's okay.
Yeah. And,
you don't have to kill anybody.
Yeah, and I get it. You were in debt, but how about ask for help? Yeah. Like, just be like, hey, Eric.
Or don't buy a $2 million house.
Yeah, and I feel like that was everything that I've read.
Obviously maybe she had a spending problem too, obviously, because you said she racked up his credit cards $30,000.
I know, but how do we know it's not what she was using to flip her houses?
That's true. But if she started her own business, you're supposed to have your own money for that.
Exactly.
So,
you can't just start your business on somebody else's money.
Yeah. Well, some people do that. So.
Well, yeah. But what I'm saying is, like, I don't know.
I guess it's just plan.
Yeah, you need to have something. But I mean, I guess we can just keep speculating. But the thing is,
we won't know. I guess until more gets released.
And she did kill. I mean, if she did kill her husband, allegedly, that was just like fucked up. And not only that, she made a whole book, bro.
With her children. About their dad's death.
Yeah.
That she may have
cost. And then I read somewhere, or I heard, I think that she had a Facebook page for the book. Y luego they think that she would write her own, like, comments. Yeah. Because, like, if you read the comments, they were, like...
very positive or something.
Yeah, they were like, this is the best book I've ever read in my whole life, and all kinds of stuff. Like,
some people have time.
Well, I mean, she really wanted the book to work. Yeah. Once again, like, I just don't understand. What does she do with all this money? Like, that's a lot of money.
Maybe she was using it for her houses, like you said.
I don't know. Maybe she was.
It seemed like she already had everything that she could possibly want.
I mean, they were in Greece. They were.
And I'm saying, I'm not saying that that's everything to a person, but obviously she didn't need to work. He was. I don't know. We don't know.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, we go back to the same thing. It's like, maybe she didn't.
She wanted to have her own success, like you were talking about. Not. She didn't want her husband's success for her. She wanted her own success and stand on her own. But exactly. I don't. How does that correlate to you killing maybe your husband? Possibly, allegedly.
I don't know. But well, let us know what you think, everyone. If you would like to send us a message or a direct DM, you can follow us on Instagram at
A direct DM?
Is that what I said?
Yeah.
If you would like to send us a DM
or follow us on Instagram.
At
Cafecito and Crime Pod.
And if you would please download our episodes.
Leave us a review.
And let us know how we're doing.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye.